Your brain has a simple policy. Whatever you repeat, it assumes you want to become better at. Practice piano and it adapts to piano. Repeat a movement and it becomes easier. Check your phone every 40 seconds and your brain becomes remarkably efficient at wanting to check it again. Congratulations, you trained it. This ability to adapt is called neuroplasticity. The brain can change its activity, functions, and connections through experience. But what happens when the thing you repeatedly practice is attention itself? From the outside, meditation may be the least convincing training program ever invented. No weights, no equipment, no obvious movement. You sit down, close your eyes, and appear to do absolutely nothing. Sometimes there is a small bell, very suspicious. But internally, a basic attention meditation contains a very specific loop. Choose a focus. The mind wanders. You notice. You return. That return is the repetition. In 2004, researchers asked what this repetition might look like after an almost unreasonable amount of practice. They recruited 8 long-term Tibetan Buddhist practitioners, some with tens of thousands of hours of practice, and 10 volunteers new to meditation. Researchers asked them to generate a state of non-referential compassion while an EEG recorded their electrical brain activity. The result was not a brain gently switching off. It was a brain becoming intensely coordinated. The experienced practitioners produced unusually strong gamma band activity and unusually high synchronization across recording sites. Gamma waves are fast patterns of electrical activity associated with processes such as attention, learning, and conscious perception. Synchronization means groups of neurons coordinate their timing, less like random musicians warming up, more like a band landing on the same beat. This does not mean gamma waves are enlightenment points. The study was small, the practitioners were highly unusual, and because they already had years of experience, it could not prove meditation caused every difference. Still, it showed that mental training can involve measurable patterns of large-scale neural coordination. When people say meditation rewires the brain, it sounds as if tiny electricians replace the anxiety cable. That is not literal. Rewiring is shorthand. Plasticity can mean stronger communication between connections, different network coordination, or more efficient performance. In some studies, researchers also measure structural differences. The real questions are which changes occur, how quickly they happen, and how reliably other studies can find them. A widely discussed study followed 16 meditation beginners through an 8-week mindfulness-based stress reduction program. Their scans were compared with 17 people in a waitlist control group. The researchers reported increases in gray matter concentration in regions linked with learning, memory, self-related processing, and perspective taking. The internet translated that into meditation grows your brain in 8 weeks. There were 2 problems. The sample was small and the study was not fully randomized. Then came the plot twist. Researchers combined 2 larger randomized controlled trials involving 218 meditation beginners. This time, they found no evidence that mindfulness training produced the previously reported structural changes compared with either control group. That does not mean meditation does nothing. It means the claim of rapid, reliable structural remodeling is still unsettled. Other researchers looked beyond gray matter. In one randomized experiment, students completed about 11 hours of integrative body-mind training, or relaxation training. The meditation group showed changes in a diffusion-based measure of white matter near the anterior cingulate cortex. But diffusion imaging is an indirect marker. Interesting, yes. A final answer? Not remotely. Another research target is the default mode network. It helps with remembering, imagining the future, and thinking about yourself. Unfortunately, it can also become an internal podcast that refuses to end. Studies comparing experienced meditators with non-meditators have found differences in default mode activity and connectivity during meditation. This includes relatively reduced activity in regions associated with mind wandering and self-referential processing. Meditation is not necessarily about eliminating thought. It may be more like learning that you do not have to board every train that enters the station. Meditation gets trapped between two equally unhelpful stories: mystical superpower or useless sitting. The evidence lives somewhere less dramatic. A major systematic review examined 47 randomized trials involving 3,515 participants. Mindfulness programs showed small to moderate improvements in anxiety, depressive symptoms, and pain. For several other outcomes, the evidence was weaker or insufficient. The review found no clear evidence that meditation was better than active alternatives, such as exercise or other behavioral programs. That is not a defeat. Meditation does not need to beat every other useful habit to deserve a place in the toolbox. It is still a tool, not a cure-all. And some people can have uncomfortable experiences, especially with intensive practice. Meditation developed in worlds without push notifications, infinite scrolling, or group chats. Then the landscape transforms into a world of feeds, messages, headlines, and constant interruption. Modern life constantly asks, what will capture your attention next? Meditation asks a different question. What do you choose to attend to? It is practice for living around technology without automatically handing it the steering wheel. Let us run a very small experiment. For one breath, place your attention on the sensation of air entering your nose. No special breathing, no attempt to become peaceful, just notice. Your attention may already have wandered. Useful, you noticed. Bring it back for the exhale. That return was one repetition, not enlightenment, not a new brain. One deliberate repetition of attention. Imagine doing that several times, then for several minutes, then regularly enough for the route to become familiar. The skill may begin to appear before a difficult reply, during a distracted afternoon, or in the seconds before an automatic reaction. Experience changes the brain, and meditation is experience repeated deliberately. Your attention is trainable. Start with 3 minutes, notice the wandering, and return.